Hey guys, it's your girl Jim African Beauty back at you with another video, and today I'm going to give you an update on my late keloid scar that I had removed, and I will also give you an update on what I'm doing to attend to my other keloids. I have one on my shoulder, as you can see, and then I have one on my inner thigh, which I'll just insert pictures to kind of show you that one because it's in a rather compromising area. So, to start off, my keloid scar that I had removed on my chest, I think for the most part I'm still doing good. And here, let me kind of give you a close-up. That's kind of how it's looking. So I feel like this scar has been doing good in the sense that I'm not having any more pain from it, and no irritation, no itching, which is a good sign, because when I used to have this scar, the protruding keloid scar, it was very itchy. It had like this piercing pain that felt like you were like injecting it with liquid nitrogen, and it was just coursing through the veins in the keloid. It was terrible. But I don't have those pains anymore, which I think is good, and I think it's because I'm 2 months post-op at this point, so the scar has had time to heal, and now it's just a flat scar that now I'm just working on the aesthetic and making sure that I'm still nursing it back to the health of like the skin around it. So what I have been doing is I've been adding Scar Shield. I still use it, and pretty much all I do, you guys, is I put a little bit on my finger, and then I just put it on the parts of the wound that are not problematic right now. So speaking of which, let me go ahead and just start talking about the problematic parts, because that's why you're here. You're here to go on the entire journey with me. So recently, my scar has been pushing out or rejecting the sutures. They are biodegradable, and they did tell me that it's possible that my body will reject and be like, oh, we don't want this, and will push it out. And that essentially is what has been happening. So I have, and I don't know if you can see this in the pictures, but I have let me try to get this for you. So if you look, so I'm like rubbing in the Scar Shield on where the halo used to be, over here, since this part of the scar is completely flattened and no protruding sutures. And that's kind of how I have been attending to it. I used to use the not Keloid, what is this called? I used to use the Keloid Care, but because this has hydrocortisone, I stopped using it as soon as I noticed that I had some protruding sutures. So, let's see, can you see that? I don't know if you can see it, but I have, oh man, I think the shadow is kind of making it hard to see. But trust me, you guys, I have a suture sticking out right here, and I have a suture sticking out, and when I pull it, I can see that it's attached to something here, and it's also protruding here as well, but it's like looped. So this is the end piece, and it's looped here, and somewhere under my skin it must be entangled, because if I try to pull it, you see it's clearly moving. So that's how that's been going down. And then also on this side, you can see it looks a little crusty. Yeah, look a little crusty over here. But the reason is this scar, this part of the scar actually opened up, and I think it was also a result of the sutures protruding out of my skin. So the way this suture even started was actually, there was a suture just looped out and back in from about here to here. And because I noticed the loop was getting bigger and bigger, I just went ahead, gave it a pull, and tried to cut it as close to my skin as possible. And everything was good for a couple of days, but then all of a sudden, I noticed this part started to protrude again, because you used to not be able to see the suture at all. And now you can obviously see it. And then on this side, it was the same thing. But this side, I was like, okay, well, since I keep seeing that it's protruding and getting bigger, or getting, you know, more and more pushed out of my skin, I was like, let me go ahead and just pull on it and try to cut it again, because that's what I was instructed to do. So I did that. And when I did that, I noticed as I was pulling it slowly, 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 it was still letting me pull. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just keep pulling it. And eventually I just pulled the whole thing out from basically this side on to wherever it was sitting over here. And I literally felt it like moving through my, or not moving through my skin, but moving under my skin. And I was so relieved and kind of freaked out, because I used to, whenever I would go like this, or anything that would like cause me when I would be sleeping on my side, I could literally feel it under my skin, and it was very uncomfortable. So when I finally pulled it out, I was like, oh, I can like move freely now. But then there's still this piece that it doesn't bother me as much as it did here, because obviously it was under more skin versus this side. It was, you know, it is smaller. So it doesn't really bother me, except for the fact that obviously it's still protruding out of my skin, which is very uncomfortable. But after I pulled the suture out on this side, I noticed that I had openings. So I had an opening right here in the scar, and an opening right here. So if you can see, it kind of looks, that's where it looked a little crusty. And that was it was the fluids that were like forming, I'm guessing, to heal it. And I just kind of left it alone. You know, I'll wash it when I'm in the shower, and I'll leave it alone. Because usually after I do this, I will put on the silicone strip, and I'll literally just put it back over my scar. But since I have, you know, protruding sutures, and I have the, you know, open wounds healing, I'm kind of leaving it alone. Getting back to me and my other scars, what I do for this one is I've been using Keloid. I also used to use Keloid Care on it, but I wanted to try to use Keloid because, come on, focus. There we go. I want to use Keloid, which I put an order in. This is the liquid. And I wanted to use it because I wanted to see how it will work. I felt like it might work a little faster on my keloids. So I've already applied it on my inner thigh, and I'll just insert some pictures so you guys can see where I applied it. And I'm going to apply it for you guys on camera for my shoulder one real quick. So it says to do this twice a day. So this is the second time in the day that I'm doing this. And I do it with a Q-tip because that's what the directions say. And I follow directions. And basically what I do is, the reason why I'm going very meticulously and trying to avoid my skin is because I don't want to lighten the skin around my keloid. I just want to get it on the actual keloid. So that's what I do. And then I have to let it sit, let it dry. And once it dries, it'll get like this crusty look like you saw in the pictures from my inner thigh. And once it gets that crusty look, then I know it's all dried up and I can go ahead and do the second part, which is the gel. Boom, the gel. So I essentially just use the other side of my Q-tip for the gel. I've been using the pieces that are the liquid that's on the top. Y'all, my thing is about to die, so I'm trying to do this real quick for y'all. So, as you see it's kind of getting a little crusted here and here. So, I hope you can see. I hope my shadow isn't like messing this up. So yeah, it's getting, I see the whiteness coming through. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the gel. And again, this, I'm very, very meticulous with putting this on because I only want to get it on the scar. I don't want to get it on any other part because I don't want it to, one, loosen or weaken the skin around the keloid. I literally just want to flatten the keloid itself. So I go very slowly around the edges. And then in the middle, I'll just, you know, rub it in, rub it in. Make sure I'm getting the corners real good. And that's it, guys. That is how I have been. Guys, so my camera died and now I'm charging it. So I had to finish this recording on my phone. So essentially, this is how my keloid looks after I have applied the 2-step treatment of Kilaid. This, it's here you can kind of see the step 1, which is the liquid. That's how ashy it looks. It gets like that ashy, you know, it's all dried up and whatnot, and I wipe it off from around my, I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to do that with my fingers. I'll wash my hands. But I pretty much wipe it off. And then whatever's on my keloid, I leave it be. And this shininess that you see is the gel. So it hasn't fully absorbed into my keloid yet, but when it does, it loses all this shine and it just looks normal. And not that this looks abnormal, but you know, after it fully absorbs, it's totally fine. I could put a regular shirt on and whatnot. And that's really all I've been doing with my keloids. I stopped using, I don't believe I shared why I stopped using keloid care in the first part of this video, but I essentially stopped using it because I really wanted to try out Kilaid. I saw a lot of testimonials about it, and with people who had large keloids like myself who have used it and it's made their keloid flat or stop itching, or you know, whatever. There was just a lot of positive feedback, so I kind of want to see it for myself. It is expensive, it is an investment. I paid, I think, $170 altogether. Maybe it was like $168, but close enough for this little nega piston. Okay, this is the 0.5 starter pack. So it's pricey, but if the results are there, I think it may be worth the money because it's still cheaper than getting a whole keloid surgically removed from a plastic surgeon. But it is more expensive than other topical creams that I've purchased. Like this keloid care was like $20. So I'm looking forward to the results that I get. I will keep you guys posted. I think I'll do another catch-up video when I start seeing some changes, but my goal is to use this consistently every day, twice a day, like the instructions say. And I'm still kind of on the fence on when I go to sleep, am I going to use the steroid strips? Because I also have steroid strips that I want to use on them. But since the directions say to, and it's in bold, y'all, it says, do not use Kilaid with any other treatment. So because it says that, I'm just like, so maybe I should just give it some time. Maybe I'll finish using this out, and if it flattens them, great. Then I don't need the steroid strips, which is fine because it's not like I paid for them. And I can always give this away to like my mom or my sister who also have some small keloids from, you know, surgical procedures that they've gotten. So yeah, you guys, let me know in the comments what you think about this video. Do you like this type of content? Do you want to know about my keloid journey? Do you guys get keloids too? I have 21 questions and they're all about us. So don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button so you never miss another upload from me. And until next time, you guys have a blessed week.